صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه. أما بعد, the chapter that deals with the description of the saying of the Prophet ﷺ on poetry. And as we know that the Prophet ﷺ was not a poet, this is what the disbelievers and the idol worshippers blamed him and accused him of when they could not explain the beauty of the Quran. So they said he was a poet. And Allah stated that he does not say poetry. And he does not know how to say poetry. And even the poetry that he had said, it had some deficiency in it according to the poets themselves, so that it would never be said that the Prophet was a poet ﷺ. Nevertheless, Aisha says, may Allah be pleased with her, that the Prophet ﷺ, when she was asked, was he ﷺ used to imitating any form of poetry? So she said he used to imitate the poetry of Ibn Rawaha, may Allah be pleased with him, and he is Abdullah ibn Rawaha, one of the three poets of the Prophet ﷺ. And he would imitate his saying, you will be brought the news by someone who you have not furnished with travel provisions, which means that wait, because patience is a virtue. Whatever you're eager to find out today, soon someone will come and bring you this news or piece of information without any effort from your side. Patience is a virtue. So he did not say a poetry, he just used one small part of a verse of poetry that his companion Abdullah ibn Rawaha used to say. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, says, the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said, the most truthful saying spoken by a poet is the saying of Labid. Everything but Allah is surely futile. And the poet Umayyah ibn Abi Salt almost embraced Islam. So this shows us that the Prophet ﷺ heard poetry and may have liked some of it or enjoyed some of it, but this did not result in him making or initiating such poetry. Rather, whatever there was pieces of wisdom, he would like it ﷺ and attribute it to those who had said it. And Jundub ibn Sufyan al-Bajali, may Allah be pleased with him, he says that a stone hit the finger of the Prophet ﷺ, causing it to bleed. So the Prophet said in a poetic verse, are you nothing but a finger that has bled without having suffered in Allah's cause? Meaning that this is in the cause of Allah Azza wa Jal, and he is trying to make this something trivial and not of great importance, alayhi salatu wasalam. But again, the punchline is that it was a part of poetry, yet the Prophet said it casually, alayhi salatu wasalam, and he was not a poet. Al-Bara ibn Azib, may Allah be pleased with him, was asked by a man, did you all flee from the Prophet of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, O Abu Umara? So Al-Bara said, no, by Allah. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not retreat, but those who were hasty retreated. Being showered by the arrows of Hawazin, the tribe, the Prophet of Allah ﷺ was mounted on his female mule. While Abu Sufyan ibn al-Harith ibn Abdul Muttalib, his cousin, was holding its bridle and its harness, and the Prophet of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam was saying in a poetic verse, I am the Prophet, no lie. I am the son of Abdul Muttalib. Now again, this was a battle where the Prophet ﷺ went after the conquest of Mecca to the mountainous town of Taif. He was ambushed. And those who were with the Prophet ﷺ, great deal of them were not his original companions, but rather people from Mecca who just embraced Islam forcefully, as they were thinking that this is their only alternative, though the Prophet gave them time to rethink it over and leave. But about 2,000 of them embraced Islam on the spot. So when they were showered with these arrows in this ambush, they fled. Along with them fled some of the tribes that accompanied the Prophet ﷺ in this expedition. And the Prophet was on a mule, a female mule. Nobody goes to battle with a female mule because it doesn't run fast. It's not as big as a camel, but it shows you that the Prophet was so in trust of Allah Azza wa Jal that he was certain of his victory and Allah's support to him. When all the companions fled, only a few remained. Among them was Abu Sufyan ibn al-Harith ibn Abdul Muttalib, the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, holding the harness of the mule, because the Prophet was marching towards the enemy. Well, he had only half a dozen of his companions around him and the rest fled. Not only that, he was identifying himself to the enemy. I am the Prophet, no lie. أنا النبي لا كذب. أنا ابن عبد المطلب. I'm the son of Abdul Muttalib. And why did he not say I'm the son of Abdullah ibn Abdul Muttalib? Rather, he called himself directly after his grandfather, because Abdullah, his father, was not well known. All the people in Arabia knew that he was the son of Abdul Muttalib, meaning the grandson of Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib was one of the dignitary of Quraysh, the master and the head of it, and was respected all over Arabia. So this was a form of identification by the Prophet alayhi as-salatu was-salam. Anas ibn Malik said, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet alayhi salatu was-salam entered Mecca during the visitation fulfillment, that is Umrat al-Qada, when he made up for the treaty, when he had been blocked from going for his Umrah. They agreed that he would come the following year. So he came the following year to make up for the missed Umrah. And Abdullah ibn Rawaha, his poet, may Allah be pleased with him, was walking in front of him, saying in a poetic verse, clear away from his path, O sons of disbelievers. Today we shall prevent you from bringing it to a halt with a blow that removes the foreheads and the heads from where it is been stationed, and distract the bosom friend from his bosom friend, the dear friends from their dear friends. Umar said, O Ibn Rawaha, you dare to utter poetry before the Prophet of Allah ﷺ and in the sanctuary of Al-Haram, in the masjid? The Prophet ﷺ stopped Umar by saying to him, leave him alone, O Umar, for it will strike them down more quickly than a shower of arrows. So what he's saying is not to boast about anything, rather it is to promote and defend Islam and to defend the Prophet alayhi as-salatu was-salam. And Allah knows best. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد.
صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. صلى الله عليه وسلم.